welcome to my channel. My name is Jenny and you can find me on Instagram and on Ravelry as Honeybird Studio. Today I have a very special video. I will be going over 15 patterns by Irene Lin that I have knit over the past several years and also how I style them. So I've put together, technically I think a lot of them I've styled with like multiple outfits, but for the sake of time with this video I have put together one outfit for each pattern that I've knit. And so I'll be going over all of those. And this is the third annual Irene Lin Knitalong, and I am hosting it with my friend Faith, who is also known as Fiber Fables on YouTube and the.redhead.knits on Instagram. So basically the Knitalong starts on Monday, September 1st, and it runs until the end of December, so December 31st. And I'm hoping, I've already filmed this video once and it was a little bit too long, so I'm filming it again. So I'm hoping that I have this video up for Monday, September 1st when the Knitalong starts. And so yeah, fingers crossed, that's when you'll be seeing this video. But yeah, what else can I say? Oh yeah, so this year I actually reached out to Irene Lin, and she has generously offered a coupon code for a 30% discount on any one of her patterns on Ravelry. And so the coupon code is Jenny30, and that will get you 30% off of any one pattern from Irene Lin. And yeah, I was really nervous to reach out, but she was so nice, and I'm so glad that I did reach out because I think like last year I wanted to, but I was too nervous, so I didn't. So this year I did. And it's like, honestly, like the worst someone can say is no, and that's fine. But yeah, Irene Lin graciously gave a 30% discount, which is phenomenal. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. But yeah, I'll make sure I link, I put all the information in the description box on this video, or like the description box below this video. So do check out the links there, and the discount code will be down below as well. And I'll link to Irene Lin's Ravelry store as well. So for this year's knit along, we will be hosting it over on Instagram again. And works in progress are welcome as well. So if you're currently working on a pattern by Irene Lin, you're welcome to join in the knit along as well. This year though, we will only have we'll only be using one hashtag because I think it was a lot to keep track of the whip hashtag and the FO hashtag. And so this year the hashtag is hashtag Irene Lin KAL 2025. So I'll be sure to also put that information down below. And I think it was like last year there was like a little bit of issues with the hashtags not showing up in the search, so I had to go looking for when people tagged the hashtag, I would see it initially, but then like when I would go back to search for it, I couldn't find it again. And so I had to try and keep track of all the usernames of people who were participating in the Irene Lin KAL last year. So that being said, to enter the knit along, basically use the hashtag Irene Lin KAL 2025 and also tag myself at Honeybird Studio and Faith at the.redhead.knits. Because I think even though if you use the hashtag, like I said, it sometimes shows up and sometimes doesn't, but if you tag myself and Faith in the post, then it should technically always show up on my feed when people ping me. Like I'll always get a notification when people ping me on Instagram, so that would be the best way to make sure that you're entered for the knit along. So the prizes for the knit along this year will be a pattern, basically like a pattern of your choice on Ravelry. I think like the price range is probably like $15 Canadian or $12 US. And I think because the knit along is going for 4 months, September, October, November, December, I think what we're going to do is we're going to draw 4 prize winners at the end of the knit along, and we will be posting them on Instagram over on Instagram. Basically December 31st will be the last day to enter the knit along, and then at some point in the first week of January we'll be drawing the 4 winners for the knit along. And the winners will be pulled, like I think we there's like a way to put the, oh no, I guess like last year what I did was I put all the names in a spreadsheet and then I put them on one of those like, what was it? It's like a little wheel thing where you put all the names, however many people entered, and then it spins the wheel and then it picks the winners kind of thing. So it's basically like a random generator, essentially. But yeah, so we'll pick 4 winners and we will announce them over on Instagram in ideally the first week of January. So it just depends, sometimes the first week gets a little bit busy in the new year, but ideally that's when we would draw the prize winners. And oh yeah, also I forgot to mention that if you tag the hashtag in an Instagram story, that probably won't count for to be put in the prize pool, because Instagram stories only last 24 hours and sometimes I might miss the story even if I'm tagged in it. There are times where I don't check Instagram for a whole day or two, so do be sure to tag it in an Instagram post to be entered for the prize at the end. But yeah, all right. I think that just about covers all the details of the 3rd annual Irene Lin Knitalong. And now I want to go over, the patterns that I've knit by Irene Lin, and also how I have styled them. I had a lot of fun putting together all these outfits. What was it, I guess it was a couple days ago. I went through my entire wardrobe and I really tried to put together a unique look for each design or each knit garment. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, last year I went over everything that I had knit by Irene Lin up to that point. And so you can check out that video. I will link it in the description box below. I'll also link the first year's video. Basically every year we do the Irene Lin KAL. I've been putting together a video going over the patterns that I've knit by Irene Lin. Let's see. I think this year there's probably a few repeats in the outfits that I've put together, but like I said, I tried really hard to utilize a different piece of clothing from my wardrobe for each outfit. The only exception being I only have a few pairs of shoes, so there are many repeats for the shoes that I'm wearing with my outfits. Let's see. I guess I'll sort this out, or I'll group all the garments by type. So I think altogether I have 5 cardigans, 5 sweaters, 3 vests, 1 top or like a t-shirt style garment, and 1 shawl. And I think, yeah, that's 15 altogether. But yeah, so without further ado, let's get into the cardigans first. All right, so I just took a moment to pile all my cardigans here, and I also have my notes in front of me, so I do apologize if I keep looking down. I'm really trying hard to stay on track with this, because the first time I filmed this video, like I said, it was an hour and a half, and trying to whittle it down just a little bit. So that being said, the first cardigan that I want to talk about is the Carly cardigan. So the Carly cardigan features all over cables and texture. Basically, like, it's all cables and all texture, and it's knit from the top down. You start with the back panel, or like you start with the top back, and then you pick up for the front left and the front right, and then you connect and knit flat back and forth. And basically, what was it? Oh yeah, and then also this pattern has pockets as well. So I opted to do the pockets because I thought they looked really cute. And there's also 2 styles for this pattern. You can knit it you can knit a full cardigan with sleeves, or you can kind of knit it as like an open style vest where it does not have sleeve. Well, I wouldn't say it's a vest. It's like, I don't know what it would be called. Well, maybe it's kind of like open style vest. I'm not sure. I'm not actually sure what that's called, but basically it's the cardigan without the sleeves. I'll put a picture here as well of that style. But yeah, so this pattern is the pattern that I chose for last year's knit along. So the yarn that I used for this is Estelle Eco Shetland Worsted held together with Estelle Alpaca Whisper, and if I remember correctly, the colorway was called Caramel. So this is what it looks like. I mean, okay, my lighting's a little bit poor because I've got like I've got a window here, so apologies for the lighting. But yeah, so this is the cardigan, and you can see the back shows the cables a lot better. So you've got the two big cables running down the center, and then some smaller braided cables on the sides here. And then also it's kind of surrounded by what looks like, what is that? Double moss stitch, I think. But yeah, and then it's got the pockets as well. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. All right. So the outfit inspiration for this one, I believe I talked about it last year. I have a burgundy dress that's kind of, it's a little boxy. It's kind of a shapeless dress, and so I use a waist, like a belt, to cinch at the waist to kind of give it a little bit more shape. And then I throw the cardigan over top, and I believe I was wearing my brown like wedge heel boots. Altogether, this look is super cute. I've worn this outfit a couple of times. I also have put together, like, I wear this cardigan a lot with like many different outfits, but this particular one is one of my favorite ones, like my favorite outfit to put together, because I feel like the color of the cardigan goes really well with the color of the dress. Like, there's something about this caramel colorway and burgundy that work really well together. So I'm really excited about that particular look, that particular outfit. But yeah, I did not finish this one in time for the end of the knit along last year. I believe I ended up finishing it in the first week of January, or possibly this, like, early in January in any case. And I would totally love to knit this again. I technically have knit it twice. The second one I knit for a friend of mine. Basically, it was like a gift exchange. I got some gift cards and some coffee from them, which it was nice because, I mean, it did take me a while to knit the cardigan, so it's hard to put a price on, like, you know, knitting something for someone, and I didn't want to charge them hundreds of dollars, so it was basically like just an exchange kind of thing. Like, gift cards and coffee, that was good enough for me, and I got the pleasure of knitting the pattern again. I would love to knit it again, but the sleeveless version, so that's something that's on my radar for the future. But yeah, so that is the Carly cardigan. Let's see. I'm going to be surrounded by knits very soon. Let's see if I can make some room on my table here. Okay. The next cardigan I want to talk about is the Acacia Cardigan. So the Acacia Cardigan was the pattern that I chose for the first year of the Irene Lin Knitalong. And I knit this one out of Kensington Prairie Farm Baby Alpaca, I'm pretty sure is what it was called. And so this is it. And yeah, let's see. So it's all over lace and cables. And I think, yeah, all over lace and cables, which was super fun to knit. I'm all about lace and cables and texture, just anything but stockinette, basically. I enjoy everything but stockinette. But anyways, so the Acacia Cardigan is knit top down, and then once you get to, of course, you know, you do the, what is it, it's a raglan style top down cardigan, if I remember correctly. And so you got the increases on for the arms here, you can see the raglan increases there. And then, yeah, oh gosh, it was just so much fun to knit. I had a hard time putting this one down. Like, I just wanted to keep knitting on it. The outfit that I put together, I believe I was wearing in last year's video. And basically, this is a high-waisted skirt, and I have tucked the cardigan into the skirt because I will say I did knit the cardigan just a little bit too long. I didn't anticipate the yarn to grow lengthwise as much as it did. And so I had, the look that I was going for was like, kind of like academia. I don't know. There's something about it where it's like, I feel like if I was holding like a handful of books or something and I was going to the library or this, you know, whatever. There's something about that just gave me those kind of vibes. But anyways, so yeah. So I did knit it just a little bit too long to wear with high-waisted skirts. It looks a little bit funky. The other thing I'll say about this pattern, it is like a round neck, or like it comes up pretty high. I do leave it buttoned up because when I unbutton it, it just doesn't, I don't know, there's something about it that doesn't look right. So I keep it buttoned up. And speaking of the buttons, I chose these kind of like pearlescent buttons. I was originally going to go for a darker color, like a maybe black or dark burgundy, but there's something about the, I don't know, just the pop of color that I just really liked it. So I went with the pearlescent buttons. But yeah, sorry, I'm going to show this one more time because look at all that lace and those cables. Oh gosh, it looks so good. I really enjoyed this a lot. I would like to knit it again. I would definitely knit it shorter. I could technically go back on this one and unpick, well, I wouldn't unpick the bind off because it's an Italian bind off. But I would probably just cut the bind off out, put an afterthought lifeline, about 3 pattern repeats, maybe 4, and just rip it out up until there, and then just go straight into the ribbing, bind it off again. And then it would be an appropriate length, or like a length that I would prefer more than what it is now. But, yeah, with the outfit I chose, I don't mind tucking it into the skirt. I think it looks really cute. So, yeah. So that's the Acacia cardigan. The next cardigan I want to talk about is the boho style Mosaic cardigan. For this cardigan, I used Hobby Friends wool, I'm pretty sure is what it was called. And I thought that I had bought enough yarn for this pattern, but I think because I decided to knit it longer than the pattern, I think I decided to knit it like a little bit longer than in the pattern. And so I did end up running out of the main color. I think I had enough of all the contrast colors, but just not the main color. And then the dye lots were different, but that's okay. I don't mind. Anyways, so for the boho style Mosaic cardigan, I did make a modification because, again, I ran out of, even though I bought more yarn, I still ran out. I didn't have enough to knit the collar as long as it was supposed to be, or as wide as it was supposed to be. But yeah, this will be a little bit difficult to show. But this is my boho style Mosaic cardigan, and I opted to choose the similar colors to the ones that are in the pattern photos. The other modification I made was I added a contrast color on the I-cord bind off, and I'm actually not sure if the I-cord was part of the pattern or if I just added that in. It's been, I don't know, I think like I knit this like 2 years ago. But yeah, this pattern features mosaic knitting, as the name suggests. Let's see if I can show this here. So on the sleeves, it's got this mosaic chart here, and then it's got like a broken 1x1 rib, which I think looks really nice. Something that I think I would do on future patterns. And then on the bottom of the cardigan, it also has a big swath of mosaic knitting. There we go. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. Wow. I really enjoyed doing the mosaic knitting on this. I wasn't a huge fan of knitting back and forth in stockinette stitch for the majority of the body, but the nice thing about this pattern is because it's top down, you get through all the boring stuff and then you get to do the exciting mosaic at the end. So it was a lot of, what's the word? Motivation for me to get through the body, because I knew that I would be able to do the mosaic part at the bottom. The only thing I will say that I did not like about this pattern is that it had a ton of ends to weave in, especially on the sleeves. I think I could have carried the yarn better, but I ended up cutting the yarn for every color after each color change, and it seemed like I had 20 ends to weave in on each sleeve, which was a little bit of a nightmare, but I spread it out across multiple days. Because there was no way I was going to sit down. It took me probably several hours across a couple of days to get all the ends woven in. But yeah, so for this outfit, I put together something pretty basic. I've got my black leggings with this gray t-shirt and my Blundstone boots. And I feel like this is such a perfect like winter, like beginning of like, I guess the transition between fall winter outfit, because it's, I don't know, there's something that's almost winter about this outfit. Sorry, I'm losing my words. Because the yarn that I chose is 100% wool, it's nice and warm, and I feel like it's going to be a great layering piece that I can like take on and off during that transition between fall and winter. I think like once winter hits, I'd probably be living less in cardigans and more in sweaters, but anyways, so that's the outfit that I put together for this cardigan. Although I will say I wear this cardigan around the house a lot. It almost feels like a house coat to me because of the, I don't know, there's just something about it that just feels good to wear around my place, I guess. But yeah, I guess that's all I have to say about that one. But yeah, it was really fun to knit though. Let's see if I can fold this up a little bit better. Yeah. Once you get past all the stockinette, and the garter ridges, then you get to do all the fun mosaic part at the end. Okay, let's go on to the next cardigan. The next cardigan I want to talk about is the gown cardigan. So for this one, this is technically the second time that I've knit it. The first time I knit the gown cardigan, I knit it for my younger sister, and so she has the first one I knit. The second one that I've knit is the one that I have in my possession, and the yarn that I used for this one is Kensington Prairie Farm, and it was like a giant cone of alpaca and cotton. And I bought it at Fibers West, and I bought the needles that I needed to cast it on right away. And I will say, I mean, generally I size down on needles for Irene Lin's patterns because I think I'm a looser knitter. But I ended up, I think I just got too excited. I bought the needles that were suggested in the pattern, and I think I could have gone down a needle size, but in the end the cardigan still worked out really well. I think like the size looks good, or it fits well. For this pattern I didn't do the pockets, just because, oh wait, sorry, this way, just because I ended up knitting this really long, and I felt like it would be, even though in the pattern photos she does show that the pockets are on the long version, I just didn't think that, I don't know, there was just something about it that I just felt like I needed to omit. I wasn't too fussed about putting pockets in this one. If I had made a shorter version of this, then I probably would put the pockets in. The construction for this one, if I remember correctly, you start with knitting the, like, you cast on and you knit up like a panel of the cables here, and then you pick up stitches and knit the other way, and then I think you pick up all the stitches along the edge, and then at some point it turns into a raglan construction. So you'll see the raglan increases down here, down the sleeve and the shoulder, like this area. Anyways, the cable pattern is only on the collar of the pattern, and so it was nice because at the start of the row you have a bunch of cables to work, and then you boring stockinette, but then at the end of the row you have more cables that you get to knit. So it was kind of like a fun, boring, and then fun again. So it was still an engaging knit. I really enjoyed doing all these cables. So down the, I guess the collar part, or like the edging has a cable, and then these little tiny cables, and then like a flower knot cable, and then it's like mirrored on the other side as well. Oh my gosh, I really enjoy doing these cables. I just enjoy cables in general. But yeah, anyways, the outfit that I put together for this is my long green waist-high skirt with a black shirt and my Blundstone boots. And there's something about this outfit. I mean, I love all the outfits that I put together, but this particular outfit stands out to me because the first time I put it together, I was just like in awe. I was like, oh my gosh, this just looks so cute. And so much so that I was like, I'm gonna go out. I think I went to 2 different coffee shops that afternoon because I was like, I wanted to show off my outfit because I don't know, I felt very, I don't know, I just felt very good in this outfit. And it was nice because the first coffee shop I went to, one of the baristas actually complimented my outfit. I was like, oh, thank you. I put it together myself. I made my cardigan. Yeah, so anyways, yeah, I'm really excited about this outfit. Really looking forward to wearing it more in the fall when it does get a little bit cooler. The cardigan, because it's like, what was it, like 65% alpaca and 35% cotton, it does still have warm, like it is still pretty warm to wear, so it's definitely not suitable for the current weather. But I want to knit this again because I want to knit it shorter and with pockets, but I have about a million other things that are on my to be knit list before I would knit this for a third time. But yeah, but it was enjoyable, and I think next time I will put the pockets on it. And oh, and then the sleeves are like a balloon sleeve, sort of, where it just kind of like, you don't, or what is it? Did I just not do any decreases? I don't remember. I don't think I did any decreases. And then it's at the end here, it's like a bunch of decreases into the cuff. So it kind of makes that like a little bit of a puffy sleeve, essentially. So yeah. So that's what is that? My fourth cardigan? My last cardigan is the Roving Summer Wrap. This pattern I also knit out of Kensington Prairie Farms, one of their big cones of the alpaca cotton. So I think it was essentially the same cone but different color, because the gown cardigan is like gray and then this one is kind of off-white. So the Roving Summer Wrap is an all-over lace design, and I will say I did make a mistake on this, that I got carried away with the increases and increased to 2 sizes bigger than I was supposed to knit. So I do have some issues with this pattern in the fit for myself. But this is it. Like you can see here, I'll turn it around so you can see the lace on the back. So it's just a huge swath of lace. And then at the very bottom here, for the last, like, what is that, 12 inches, 10 inches, there is like this chevron lace with some like mock cables there. Really enjoyed that. So for this pattern, the outfit, I have a couple of summer outfits that I put together with this, but it's more fashion over function, because when I wear this, because of the increases, like I've put too many increases in it, the sleeves sit really low, like at my elbows, so when I go to put my arms up, the whole thing rides up. So with this one, basically, yeah, fashion over function for this piece. If I was to knit it again, I would knit the correct size, and I'm sure it would be a lot more functional. But in any case, the outfit that I put together is like a pair of high-waisted beige shorts, my beige runners, and I think I was wearing my brown hat, and my Ancient Orchid tank top. Just a pop of color, because I feel like this outfit, it's like, it's neutral. It's mostly neutral, and then the top that I wear, depending on, I think the first outfit I put together with this last year was with my pink tank top, but I thought the pop of yellow was really cute. So generally when I do wear this outfit, it's something that I would only wear to like the coffee shop if I'm just going to be sitting and knitting, not necessarily out and about, because again, fashion over function. But yeah, and I tie it, I generally tie it in the front because I feel like that just, it seems to sit better that way. But you can also run the tie through to the back and tie it at the back. I think in some of the pattern photos on Irene Lin's page, there's a few where it's tied in the back. I believe it was supposed to be an I-cord for the belt, but I opted to do a double stitch. What is it called? Double stitch, double knitting, basically, for the belt. But yeah, so this one, I really enjoyed knitting. Like I said, I got carried away with the increases, and I just kept going until I realized that, I have a lot of stitches on my needles. And then I was like, well, I don't want to rip it all out. I'll just keep going. But like I said, it doesn't fit the way it's supposed to because I knit it 2 sizes too large. The sleeves come too far down. If I knit the correct size, it would be further up like this, and then I wouldn't have the issue I have with raising my arms. But yeah, so that's it for my cardigans. The next set of garments I'm going to get into is sweaters. Yes, sweaters. The first sweater I want to talk about is the Ola Sweater. So the Ola Sweater is a top-down drop shoulder construction, if I remember correctly. And I knit mine out of Midknit Cravings light sock base in the color Rosewater. And this pattern features lace on the sleeves, so on the bottom of the sleeves here, and also on the back, and it runs over the shoulders. So basically let me see if I can show this better. The lace is on the back, like behind the shoulders, and it continues up and over. Oh wait, I'm showing them wrong. Yeah. It starts on the back. Oh my gosh. Starts on the back and it rolls up and over the shoulders to the front. And it has a shallow V-neck with an I-cord edging. The outfit that I put together with this is super cute. I want to say sometime earlier this year, I was at a thrift shop and I got this beautiful floral skirt for $2. I think it was originally $4 and it was like half off Tuesday, or maybe it was half off Wednesday or something like that. And I was like, wow, I can literally get a skirt. I mean, it was already a great deal at $4, but having half price day, it was $2. So anyways, so with this outfit, I've styled it by tucking the Ola Sweater into the skirt, and I'm wearing my brown, it's my brown wedge heel boots. I don't know, there's just something about this look that makes me feel super feminine and just, I don't know, just super cute. I've worn this outfit, I think, at least a handful of times. I wore it to Girls' Day with my mom and my younger sister when we were going out for, we went to the bridal shop for my younger sister to try on dresses. And so it was like one of those days where I just wanted to dress up and feel really girly, very feminine, dainty and stuff like that. But yeah, so that's what I put together for this outfit. One thing I will say about this pattern, I really enjoyed knitting it. I enjoyed doing the lace. The stockinette part, like I've mentioned before, is kind of boring, but the nice thing is once you finish the body and you do the sleeves, you get to do the fun stuff at the cuff, like at the bottom of the sleeve. So it's like this feather and fan lace, and then you do some decreases and it cinches in, so it ends up being like a balloon sleeve. When I soaked this pre-blocking, or when I was soaking it before I blocked it, or put it on the blocking mats, I accidentally left it in the water for way too long, and when I took it out to put it on the blocking mats, the sweater had stretched out exponentially. Before I blocked it, it was like a little bit too small, so I was like, oh perfect, when I block it, it'll grow a little bit and it'll be fine. But it grew like 2 sizes bigger, maybe 3 sizes bigger than I was anticipating, and so this is the first pattern that I've ever put in the dryer to try and cinch back up. And so I basically put it on the delicate cycle, and I just checked on it every 5 minutes. I think it took a total of 15 or 20 minutes for it to go back to its normal size. But yeah, so this is it. I didn't do any yarn management. I just knit one skein at a time, like one full skein and then the next skein. And I feel like I don't feel like there's any color pooling. So for hand-dyed yarn, it's very consistent, I feel like, which is always nice. Not having to do yarn management is always nice. So that is the Ola Sweater. The next sweater I'm going to talk about is the Afra Sweater. The Afra Sweater features a ton of half-twisted ribbing. And it's got a similar neckline as the Ola Sweater, where it's like a shallow V-neck. I'll show you here, shallow V-neck with like an I-cord edging. But this one has like what is this called? Like a saddle shoulder compound raglan, or compounds? I'm really not familiar with the terms of all the constructions, but with this one, technically, you're not knitting the saddles first and then picking up the stitches. You're doing this as you go, and you're just doing a bunch of increases here to make that detail. And on the sleeves, instead of like a raglan construction, it's got like a straight up and down, and then it turns into a raglan increases at the bottom here. And so this one is knit out of mountain metal wool on their Saratoga base. This one could have used a little bit of yarn management, because you can kind of see on camera the top half is a little bit like it's darker here than it is on the bottom half of the sweater. And then like you can see here where I've changed the skein on the cuff. This sleeve looks relatively uniform. But yeah, so I used pretty much all the yarn. I think it was like 3 or 4 skeins of yarn. And it's just super squishy. Oh yeah, the outfit that I put together, I got this really long black skirt with like sheer fabric over the top with black polka dots on it. And I have black flats with like a pointed toe. And this outfit, again, it just makes me feel super feminine and girly and just really cute. I feel like this outfit would be perfect for there's something about the skirt that just makes me think of holidays, like Christmas. Not necessarily Christmas, but like just the holiday season in general. And I feel like this would be a good outfit to wear to like a holiday party. Even though like, yes, it is like bubblegum pink, but I still think there's something about it that gives me holiday vibes. So the half twisted rib, there's a bunch of it on the sleeves and a little bit on the body. The sweater is cropped, so that's why I paired it with a high-waisted skirt. And I really like this detail on the sleeve where the stockinette comes to a point and is surrounded by the half twisted rib. And it's funny because doing this much half twisted rib I thought was going to be a slog, but there was something about it that just felt very meditative. Because it's half twisted rib, you're not twisting the purls, just the knit stitches. It wasn't terrible, and because you're knitting in the round as well, so you're not having to like purl through the back loop on the wrong side. So it was just it was knit through the back loop, purl normal, knit through the back loop, purl normal. So it wasn't terrible to get through. And this pattern also features like a balloon sleeve where it cinches in pretty quickly at the cuff. Super cute. There's something about the balloon sleeves that I really enjoy. I think I've got, in my knitted wardrobe, I have several sweaters that have the balloon style, like sleeves or whatever. Anyways, so that is the Afra Sweater, and that's the outfit that I put together for that one. I technically have worn this with the green skirt as well. There's something about the pink and green that go well together. The next sweater I'm going to talk about is the Una sweater. I believe I knit this sweater like 3 or 4 years ago at this point. I think it was one of the first knitted garments that I ever wore to Knit City. The first outfit that I put together with it was a high-waisted black skirt, like a high-waisted black pleated skirt. But I think I played around with tucking it into my high-waisted skirt, so I'll show that in just a sec. The yarn that I used for this is Estelle Eco Andean DK, I'm pretty sure. And so this is what it looks like. And it's all over broken ribbing, which I think looks so nice. I love broken rib. It looks so clean and crisp. There's just something about broken rib that I like the look of more than standard rib. So yeah, I really enjoyed knitting this because it's one round of knitting and then one round of knits with purls to make the broken rib. So this pattern also has, like, it's got shorter sleeves, so it comes to the elbow, and it also has like the puff sleeve look where it cinches in. The outfit that I put together with this is a high-waisted skirt. It's a little bit shorter. It's like mid-calf length, and it also has a sheer fabric over the top, and it's pleated all the way around. And I paired this with my brown wedge boots. brown wedge heel boots, sorry. And I decided I had a little bit of difficulty styling this one because of the length of the sweater. Just sits at a, I don't know. It just lends itself better, I think, to the outfit that I put together. So I've tucked in the sweater into the skirt, and I feel like this looks better than the sweater being untucked with the outfits that I put together before. I didn't think to tuck the sweater in because I thought it would be like too much fabric, but actually, yeah, I think it's not uncomfortable, and I think it looks really nice. Sorry, I keep like playing around with things. But this has a similar construction to the Afra sweater in that it's got the like this little saddle piece here, and the sleeves, like the increases go down straight down the sleeves and into a raglan increase. So I thought that was really interesting. Like it's an interesting construction. I think I've knit a couple of sweaters now that have a similar construction. But yeah, I'll see the back. It's all broken rib. What else can I say about this? Oh, I will say, if I was to knit this again, I would choose a loftier yarn. I think in the pattern photos that Irene Lin has for this pattern, it looks like it drapes. It looks like it drapes a little bit better, especially with where it cinches in at the bottom, and it's supposed to be like a little bit billowy. I feel like this wool is just a little bit too heavy, and it just doesn't have enough loft to it to really, I don't know, like to really shine on this pattern, really. So if I was to knit this again, I would choose a loftier yarn for sure. But yeah, so that's the Una sweater. I've got two more to go. The next sweater I'm going to talk about is the Ramble Jumper 2.0. For this pattern, I used Patton's Classic Wool Worsted, and I think this was the first pattern that I knit using Patton's Classic Wool Worsted. I was inspired by my friend Faith, who talks about Patton's Classic Wool Worsted a lot on her podcast, or had talked about it a lot in the past. And when I saw it on sale at Michael's, I was like, oh, you know what? I might as well give it a try. And so I used it for the Ramble Jumper 2.0, which is a worsted weight pattern. I believe the first Ramble Jumper is a DK weight, and that's the one that caught my eye initially. So I was kind of bummed that I couldn't knit the DK weight one, but because the worsted weight one works well with the Patton's Classic Wool Worsted, it was, yeah, match made in heaven. So it worked out. So this is my Ramble Jumper, and you will see that this is different from Irene Lin's version of it. I made a few modifications to this, one being that I did the contrast color on the collar here, and also I did color work on the bottom of the hem instead of the pattern that was, or instead of the stitch pattern that was in the pattern. I just really enjoyed doing the color work, and so I just figured out the stitch count to make it work for the hem. I think I only had to increase by 2 stitches to get to the right stitch count. And then the other modification I made was I started the color work later on the sleeve than indicated in the pattern, because I didn't want a long contrast color cuff, essentially. So for this one, I do have a little bit of issues styling this one because of the color. Not the overall color, but because of the black hem here. It kind of gets lost in my black leggings. However, the outfit that I put together, it's one of those things where I just kind of have to, what's the word? Like, I just have to go with the flow, essentially. And so for the outfit that I put together with this one, and what last year when I wore this during the winter, because this is like super cozy and super warm, I paired it with my black leggings and my Bluntstone boots. So basically this look is, yeah, I don't know. If I was to knit this again, I would choose different colors, but I think overall this looks really nice and well put together. I will say it's hard for me to wear this when I have to leave the house in a jacket in the winter, because the sleeves are like very wide. It's hard to get these into, like, these sleeves into my jacket sleeves, because my winter jacket is I have two jackets, and my winter jacket doesn't have a lot of room to accommodate the wide sleeves. So this is something that I would wear if I knew I was, like, again, probably just going to a coffee shop or something where I'm not wearing the jacket for very long, because when you have to squish your sleeves into your winter jacket, it is a little bit uncomfortable. Oh yeah, so the construction for this one is a raglan construction, so you see the increases on the raglan there. It was pretty straightforward, just a lot of stockinette, and then you get to do the fun stuff at the bottom, at the hem and the cuffs. And yeah, I think that's really not much else I can say about this pattern. I enjoyed knitting it. I mean, I enjoyed knitting all these things, but I would certainly, if I knit it again, I probably would make the same modifications minus the contrast color on the collar. I think I would just go ahead and do the main color, but I would do the color work at the bottom again, but I would choose different colors. I'm thinking, okay, no, I don't need to buy more yarn, but in the future, if I do knit this again, I'm thinking maybe gray and white would be nice. But anyways, let's get on to the last sweater. The last sweater is technically like not a sweater, not a traditional sweater, but it's more of a summer sweater. So the next one is the Rota Jumper. I believe this one is like the 5th one that I've knit. I knit 3 like 2 years ago for myself that I don't wear anymore because they're made out of acrylic and they don't lend very well to a summer garment. The 4th one I knit was for my sister-in-law, and I made it out of cotton, and that inspired me to knit this one because I had the Karen cotton funnel cakes. So this one's knit out of that. So this is it. It's a cropped sweater that has all over lace and cables. It's just 1x1 cables, and it's a drop shoulder. Did I already say that? Sorry, I'm getting all over the place. Anyways, so this one I have paired with, I believe, my white dress. Yeah, so I've got I wore this a number of times over the summer. It was a really good layering piece over a dress because, like, if I was going out early in the morning, I could put this on and be relatively, like, not hot, but like warm enough to like get through the mornings. And then as it would warm up through the day, I could take the Rota Jumper off. And then as it starts to cool down in the evening, I could toss it back on. And it was like it just was the perfect layering piece for summer. Not on the hottest days, because the yarn that I use, even though it's 100% cotton, it was worsted weight cotton, so it's pretty thick. It was, it's a little bit heavy, I would say. But yeah, this was one of my favorite outfits that I put together for the summer. I actually wore this over top of several of my dresses because, like I said, it was such a great layering piece. I have a black dress that I've worn it with, and I think I even paired it. I really wanted to pair it with a yellow dress, but my yellow dress, I just have some fit issues with it that I need to solve. So I didn't get a chance to wear that one this summer, unfortunately. But overall, I really liked this outfit, and I'm really happy that I have a pair of beige shoes to go with these outfits as well, because I've never owned light colored shoes. So it was nice to style, like, to put this whole outfit together and just be matching from like head to toe, essentially. But yeah, so that's it for sweaters. And so the next set of garments I'm going to talk about is our vests. So let's get into some vests. So staying on topic with the Rota Jumper, the first vest I want to talk about, or it's like a slip over essentially, is the Rota Sleeveless top. So basically the Rota Sleeveless top is exactly what it says, or exactly what it says, is the sleeveless version of the Rota Jumper. And this is what mine looks like. I've got a cropped version of it, or like I think she's got like a cropped version and then like a slightly longer version, and I opted for the cropped version because I knew I was going to wear this over top of like dresses and skirts and stuff. And the yarn that I used for mine is the Sadness Garn Lena, which I really enjoyed knitting with, and I would love to knit with it again in the future. I feel like it's definitely a staple summer yarn for me going forward, knowing that I can get it at a yarn shop that's, I mean, it's a little bit out of the way, it's like an hour away, but They had a lot of different colors, so I'm pretty sure I can order online and get it shipped to me. So in any case, again, this is all over lace and cables. It's just the 1x1 cables. And oh, I forgot to mention in the first one, or the Rota Jumper, that I finally figured out, or not figured out, I finally had the motivation to learn how to do cabling without cable needles, albeit I will say these are just 1x1 cables, so it was really easy to rearrange the stitches. I don't know if I'd be comfortable doing a 2x2 cable. We'll see. But in any case, the outfit that I put together with this, technically I've worn this over, again, a number of my dresses, but the outfit, the dress that I wear the most with this is my black dress, and I actually paired this with my wedge heels, like my wedge sandal heels, my wedge heel sandals. There's something about this look. I mean, I normally will actually wear this with my runners because this is like my outfit for walking around the lake. But I thought it would be really cute to pair it with the sandals, the wedge heel sandals. Just because like this pop of color over top of the black, like over top of the black dress, it just really stands out, and I really like that. I think if I was to knit this again, I will probably knit a number of these next summer. I would knit it in, like, I want to have a couple of neutral ones, so I might do it in like an oatmeal color and maybe a beige. But then I would also like to do it in some other colors, like maybe, I don't wear a lot of green, but I think green would be cute. Maybe like a purple, blue, I don't know. A yellow would be very cute in this, I think. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens next summer, because I very much anticipate that I'm going to knit at least 1 or 2 of those next year. But yeah, so that is the Rota Sleeveless top. The next vest I'm going to talk about is the Lana Vest. I've technically knit this one twice, but I think I'm only going to show one outfit that I put together, or like just one version of the first one that I knit, essentially. So this one I knit out of Kensington Prairie Farm. I think it was a yarn called Indicida. And this is an all over cable and texture pattern. So let's see if I can get you up there. So it's got like this diamond texture down the middle, surrounded by columns of cables, and then some moss stitch, I believe. So did I make a mistake there? Oh my goodness, is that a mistake? Or is that just where I weaved in my ends? I wonder. Oh, that's where I weaved in my ends. That's why it looks funky. Oh, interesting. Never noticed that before. Anyways, so the Lana Vest, I feel like I knit this one just maybe a little bit too long, but the outfit that I put together I think looks really cute. It features this cable down the side that twists open into a split hem, and I think that's really cute. And then it's also got a lateral braid. Oh, let's see if I can show this to you. Separating the body from the hem. And the outfit that I put together for this I thought was really cute. I found at the back of my wardrobe some gray leggings, and I've got a kind of like a blouse shirt, long sleeve like blouse that's kind of like plaid-ish. What is this? Yeah. And it's got a little tie at the neck here, which I think is super cute. And so I put the Lana Vest over top of that, and just this overall look, just, it's so cute. Generally, I would wear this outfit. I think the gray leggings look really good with this, but in the past, I've just worn this with jeans for like a really casual look. There's something about the leggings that I think, I don't know, just elevates the look a little bit more. And I think I've paired it with my Bluntstone boots as well. Basically, like a lot of these patterns I'm really looking forward to, or sorry, a lot of these outfits I'm really looking forward to wearing when the weather starts to cool down, because a lot of the stuff that I have, a lot of the patterns that I have are more suitable for the fall and winter and the early spring, I suppose. So yeah, this outfit was super cute to put together. Like, it looks super cute. And I really enjoyed this pattern. Like I said, I've knit it twice technically, and I really enjoyed the all over texture. Doing cables and texture is just, yeah. I mean, I've said that like 1,000 times in this video. I just really enjoy textured stitches. But but this is so squishy. I think it's 100% alpaca, possibly 100% baby alpaca. But like, oh my gosh, I just love this. It feels so good. I've worn this. This is probably my most worn vest that I have, that I've knit so far. And I think if I was to knit this again, I would knit it more cropped for sure. And then that way I can wear it over some high-waisted skirts and stuff. Because I really like wearing skirts. It's kind of my jam. So the last vest that I'm going to talk about is the Ranne Vest. And for this one, there are two versions of the vest. There is the crop, I wouldn't say cropped version. There's like the standard length version, and then there is a long version. Basically, you just keep knitting until you get to the length that you want. But I opted for the standard length of vest, and I knit this out of Patton's Classic Wool Worsted. And this is it. It is all over cable texture and lace. So you've got cables running down the center, surrounded by some, what is that, slip stitches, columns of slip stitches, another cable, some lace, and then the moss stitch. So let's take a look at the back, because the back looks so good. I mean, the front and the back look good. It's a V-neck. So basically for this one, it's knit flat entirely except for the armholes, like the hem on the armholes and the neckline. Other than that, everything is knit flat, which again, straight up my alley. I love knitting flat. I prefer knitting flat than in the round. And then on the sides, basically you knit the front and the back, and then you put, or no, sorry, what is it? You knit the back, and then I think you go back and pick up stitches for the, oh, I'm going the wrong way. For the, yeah, I guess you knit the entire back. And then when you're ready to, yeah, when you're ready to do the front, you do the left front, right front, and then you connect them and go back and forth. And so the sides are this really high split, and you basically just like overlap here, and then you pick up the stitches and do the armhole. So this vest, I actually have several outfits that I wear it with. I recently went to the library and wore it with my black shirt and high-waisted green skirt. But the outfit that I put together for this video is a green, that's like a grayish green, like a muted green dress with a waist tie. It's buttoned down it's buttoned all the way down the front. And I've paired it with my brown wedge heel boots again. There's something about this look that just looks so casual and effortless that I just really like this look. The dress itself is like some kind of, what is it called? Like lyocell. It's like a plant fiber, but it's a really nice summer dress. It's a little bit heavyweight, so it's better for like the end, like I guess spring, summer, and then summer, fall transitions. And wearing this over top kind of gives it that extra layer of warmth. So this is something that I would wear on cooler days going into the end of summer now, and probably into the early fall. So yeah, I don't know, something about this look. I mean, like all my outfits, there's just that something that I'm like, oh, it just looks so good. I want to knit the Ranne Vest again. I think I would knit a smaller size and maybe even crop it some more. This one is a little, like, I think it's supposed to be kind of like a oversized look, or like a more slouchy kind of look. But I think it would look cute if I maybe knit it like a smaller size, or even like a smaller gauge, and then did a crop version of it, because I just really like the open siding on them, or on the pattern. I think that's such a unique thing that you don't often, like, I have not seen that in many patterns. I've seen it in those vests where, or like the tops where you have ties on the side and you tie it closed. So it's the same thing where it's knit flat, the front and the back, and then it just, yeah, ties closed at the sides. But in any case, that's all for the vests. And so now I have one t-shirt, or like a top style garment. So let's get into that one. Okay, the last garment that I have is the Faye Summer top. This is another pattern that I have knit more than once. The first one I knit out of some kind of acrylic yarn, and I knit 2 sizes too big. I didn't do a gauge swatch. I wore it a couple of times, but because it was too much positive ease on me, I found it really hard to style. And so I knit it a second time, and this time I knit it out of a bamboo yarn. So this is what I got. The yarn that I used was, I think it was like Loops and Threads Silky Soft or something. It's 100% rayon from bamboo. So I will say that I enjoyed knitting this. Like, I really enjoyed knitting it because it's all over lace, cables, and baubles. So let's see if I can show you here. This is the back. So down the center there, it's got like this pattern, this lace pattern with baubles, some twisted stitches here, cable, and then the lace and baubles again on the side. So for this one, I feel like if I were to knit it again, I would knit it in a loftier yarn, a much more lightweight yarn, because this is just too heavy, I feel like. Yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed the pattern itself, but I didn't enjoy working with the yarn. It was really splitty, and the baubles were really difficult to do because the yarn was so slippery. So I did crochet baubles, and they just don't look, I don't know, they don't look as three-dimensional as they should. I did a good job like on the back, but it's like I don't know, that's so weird. I feel like I did a better job of the baubles on the back than I did on the front, but in any case, this one, the outfit that I the outfit that I put together for this one is a pair of like black capri pants, like wide leg capri pants, and my black flats with the pointed toe. I feel like in the summer when I have worn this, I wore it with shorts, but there's something that's a little bit more formal. I mean, even though this is like not necessarily a formal pattern, there's something about pairing it with the black pants and the pointed toes that makes it look a little bit more formal. Not that I would need to wear it to any formal events or anything, but I just really like the way that this looked, like this entire outfit looks. The pattern itself is knit top down, and it's a drop shoulder, so the frilly sleeves, basically you're not knitting like full on sleeves, you're using short rows to make this, no, is it short rows? You pick up a lot of or you do a lot of increases, basically, that's what it is, and you do some short rows to make these frilly sleeves. I think it's so cute. It's so dainty and feminine looking, but like I said, the yarn that I chose was probably not the right yarn for this pattern, it definitely wasn't the right choice. I could have made a better choice. So if I was to knit this again, which I would love to, I would use a loftier yarn, a more lightweight yarn, because yeah, it just feels heavy. It's not really, it's not really useful for like hot days, even though the bamboo, like, it's cool to the touch. It's a little bit heavy to wear, essentially. But yeah, so that's it for garments. I do have one more pattern left to talk about, and it is a shawl. So this is the boho style mosaic shawl. And in this pattern, there are 2 options. You can knit the standard size, or you can knit a larger size. And essentially, to knit the larger size, you just have to do more pattern repeats of the stockinette and garter ridges. And so I opted for the bigger size. In fact, I think I even added another extra repeat because I'm using DK weight yarn for this pattern, which is yarn by Ancient Arts Yarn in their Lascaux DK base. And I got it at Knit City a couple of years ago. So my shawl is ginormous. It is so squishy. I love it so much. This is my go-to shawl in the winter because it is so warm. And yeah, the first part of it was boring because it's just stockinette and garter ridges, but once you get to the mosaic part, it is so much fun. I really enjoyed I said it a million times. I really enjoyed knitting this flat. I enjoy mosaic flat. I enjoy a lot of stitching, or a lot of knitting flat. But anyways, so I've got 4 colors here. I got the oatmeal, burgundy, black, and like this kind of blue jeans color. And I really enjoyed knitting this. Like once you get to the Mosaic, the pattern repeat is only like 8 stitches wide or maybe like 10 stitches wide. And so it's not a whole lot to memorize. And because you're knitting it flat, if I remember correctly, it's basically like on the right side row, you do a lot of like knit, slip, knit, slip, knit, slip, whatever. And then on the next row, on the wrong side row, you're basically knitting the knitted stitches and then again slipping the slip stitches, so it's easy to read the knitting going back and forth. I guess in the round it's easy as well, but it's nice that you like basically have a rest row with Mosaic knitting, in the sense that like you don't have to think about the pattern because it's already established on the right side row, if that makes sense. If you've ever done Mosaic knitting, hopefully you would understand that. But I will say, if you've never done color work before, Mosaic knitting is excellent. You're only ever working with one color at a time, and so it's kind of like a nice step into color work, so to speak, I guess. But yeah, the outfit that I paired with this one last year, I think, was like a black skirt and my oversized Tommy, what was it? No, not Tommy Hilfiger. Calvin Klein. I had a Calvin Klein like camel colored jacket, blazer kind of thing. But with this one, technically, I wear a lot of like more casual looking clothes when I'm going out for errands or walking and stuff like that. Like I only really dress up when I know I'm going to be going somewhere, like a dinner or a girls' day out or a coffee shop or something like that. So the look that I put together with this one is like my capri jeans. I've got like this blue cotton blazer. I'm wearing a white t-shirt, which you can't see, and my beige runners. And basically, I just wear the shawl over top of it with the point at the front. Like, that's just how I wear my shawls. Like look how, oh my gosh. Oh, get stuck here. But yeah, like, look how big and squishy this is. Oh my gosh, I just love this so much. It just feels so nice. The yarn that this is made out of is super nice. It's not, I don't feel like it's scratchy or anything. And the nice thing about wearing shawls is that it's a great transitional piece to wear, because if you get hot, you just take it off. It's not like a sweater where you have to take the whole thing off and you have to have something underneath. But yeah, so for this shawl, like I said, I knit the larger size, and I think I knit like one more extra, so technically like 2 extra repeats of this section to get to a size that would be appropriate for my DK weight yarn. But yeah, overall, I think this shawl goes with like every outfit that I ever put together, basically, because I just wear this so much. This is probably like my most worn shawl of all of the shawls that I own. But yeah, so I really enjoyed that one. I think that's it. That's all the patterns that I've knit by Irene Lin. Oh, sorry, I've knit more. I just don't have them anymore. Yeah, so that's 15 unique Irene Lin patterns. I think I just have a few more things to talk about before I end the video. All right, so I will be sure to put links to all the patterns I talked about today down in the description box. I'll do my best as well to do a timestamp for each one, so that if you're curious to go back and look at the outfits that I paired for any of the patterns, you'll find that all below. Yeah, so like I hope you have found some inspiration in this video. If you were on the fence with any of the designs that I talked about today, and maybe that kind of gave you that extra motivation to cast it on, or like to get the pattern to be ready to cast on. Or, I mean, like I said, whips are welcome, so, but ready to join us starting September 1st for the Irene Lin Knitalong. Yeah, so I would love to know which pattern that you're planning to knit for the Knitalong, or if you've already cast one on, what you're currently working on for the Irene Lin KAL. Remember to tag us over on Instagram, both myself and Faith, and then also the hashtag for the Knitalong. I guess for myself, I'm torn between 2 patterns for this knit-along. I think the first one that I initially thought I was going to cast on is the P cardigan. This particular pattern has all over cables. What is it? Cables? it looks like there's some baubles, some smocked stitches maybe, and a little bit of lace. In any case, it's like it's all over texture, which I really enjoy knitting, and because it's a cardigan, it's knit flat, which is also something I enjoy doing. The other thing too is I find that I've been wearing more cardigans going into like the transitional part of the seasons, like going into fall, winter, and from winter to spring. Yeah, I feel like I've gotten a lot more wear out of cardigans than I have out of any other garments so far. So I am leaning pretty heavily towards the pea cardigan. The other pattern that I would like to knit, maybe if I cast on and finish the pea cardigan before the end of the knit along, I can cast on the Lana Vest. And the Lana Vest has, I think there's two versions. There's one with like a scalloped edging on, not the neckline, on the arms and on the hem. And then there's a version without the scalloped edging. I definitely think I would do the scalloped edging because it looks so dainty and cute and feminine. I don't know, there's something about that detail that just is right up my alley. It also has like, it's all over texture, but I think it's like just a few columns of cable and lace surrounded by moss stitch. But I think I have an easier time, or no, I know I have an easier time styling my cardigans than I do my vests. I feel like I have a very specific set of outfits for my vests, but cardigans can go over top of anything. So we'll see what I decide. Now that I've said it out loud, I think I am leaning more towards the pea cardigan. But if I have time, then maybe I'll also cast on the Lana Vest before the end of the year. Okay, I think this video has gone on long enough. Again, I'd love to know what you're planning to knit for the knit along, or if you've cast anything on already for the Irene Lin Knit Along. Let me know down below in the comments whether you've already got a pattern in mind, or if you're planning on purchasing a pattern. Again, make sure you use the discount code Jenny30 for 30% off any one pattern from Irene Lin's Ravelry store. And yeah, hopefully, even if you're on the fence with some patterns, maybe checking out the hashtag on Instagram once the knit along starts. Maybe you'll find some inspiration from other people joining the knit along, which is always really fun. I know, I think it was last year when I chose the Carly cardigan, there were quite a few people that also knit the Carly cardigan. So it was nice to see people being inspired by that one. But yeah, I think, okay, before I go off on any more tangents, I think I'm going to leave it there. Yes, because I could probably talk forever. But yeah, so thank you so much for joining me today. My next video should be a standard knitting podcast style video. So if you enjoy content like this and just standard knitting podcast videos, make sure to like and subscribe to my channel for future content. It's always awesome to see new faces around here, and I do my best to try and reply to all the comments on my videos. Sometimes it gets a little out of hand, or I wouldn't say out of hand. Sometimes it's just a lot of comments to keep up with. So, but I do try my best to, I do read all the comments. I make sure to like and put a heart on all the comments that I read. So I'm pretty sure I've done really well with keeping up that way. But yeah, I do try and reply to everyone when I can. But yeah, so let's just leave it there. And until next time, happy knitting. Bye.